Good morning. If you or someone you love is battling an addiction, there is wonderful help out there. Greg Handley and Alex Rahici and Ashley Lundquist with Soba Recovery are joining us this morning with some very helpful and important information. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And Ashley.
Hi.
Nice to have you here. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
I guess I just want to start off with talking a little bit about Soba Texas, because you're open here in San Antonio, which is so wonderful for us because there was a need here, wasn't there, Greg?
Yeah, when I came here, I guess it's been 3 years ago.
Yeah, several years.
We made a movie here, and just
I
from
remember.
looking around, the city was really underserved. So I think we've been in business here for 2 years now, and you know, we're helping a lot of people.
I know you are, and we're all so grateful that you're here and for what you're doing. And Ashley, what's cool is you work at Soba Texas, but you've worked at other treatment centers before you came to Soba. What is it that makes Soba different? Why is the program so great, and why are people successful?
It's really a long-term program, which is different from the 30-day model that you see across the board with treatment. And so when a client comes in and is a chronic relapser and just kind of misses the mark, they really get the clinical services that they need long-term. So somebody who falls out of a 30-day treatment program, they go to IOP, they really don't have the sober support in the community around them that Soba Texas really offers them as they get longer into their journey.
And so then after they've done the 28 days, which is standard in other places, they stay. How long typically? I guess everyone's different, huh? It just depends on the person.
Sure.
We have people that have stayed over a year.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of, the program drops down, so you can go from detox all the way to a sober living situation where you're working. And you're just kind of living in a supportive environment.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't have that support system once they leave. I mean, you've said before, y'all are a family. You become a family.
Well, yeah, and it's really hard if you're somebody that has stopped doing something that everybody is doing.
Still doing, right?
And you go around those people and you're kind of the odd duck out. It's hard to, you know, maintain that. Where it's cool in this environment to be sober and be in recovery. It's not something that you feel weird about at all.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, I know we talk every time you're here about the heroin epidemic in our country, and I feel like we need to talk about it again, and I know it's something that's very important to you and that you guys want to get the word out. So many stories coming out, I feel like every day in the news, but a couple of stories that just came out this last week. 2 parents were found, they had overdosed with their children.
Yeah, in the back seat.
With them,
Yeah.
right. 2 of them in a car.
There's the pictures. You guys are putting them up. So, yeah,
So
the police
when you
officers
see
took
this-
pictures of that. They knew it was going to have a really bad, dramatic impact for people to see that. I mean, it's reality of what's happening.
And you've been saying this for years and years and years, but it's as though finally the people that matter, that can make the laws, they're finally catching on.
Well, when you see that, it's one thing to talk about it, and it's one thing to hear about it, but when you see a picture like that, I mean, there's a kid in the back seat.
It breaks my heart. I have little ones.
But you know, these drugs are so strong that you would like to think maybe they won't do it in the car, maybe they won't do it with a kid, and a lot of people, they get to a point where they have no choice. You know, I mean, and I know that's a horrible thing to say, that you don't have a choice. You have a choice of maybe not having your kid in the car, but when it gets that bad, nothing matters anymore.
Yeah, yeah. There was another video that was going around, and it was a little girl, a toddler, that was found screaming and crying beside her mother in a store, who had overdosed and then was out.
That's what it looks like. So,
That's
and
the
the
reality
thing
right
is,
there.
that could be in a house, that could be anywhere. People are overdosing. When we talk about 45,000 people this year died from an overdose, this lady was revived with Narcan.
Narcan, luckily.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't know
thank
what the
goodness.
outcome with these people are, but yeah, it is, I mean, that's what it looks like. So when you think about it, 45,000 times this year, somebody walked into that
Yeah.
scene.
Saw that.
And, you know, it's just like, it's the worst case scenario. It's just, it is. I mean, when you think that, yeah, that's somebody's mom, but that's also somebody's kid and
Someone's
somebody's
child,
sister.
yeah.
And it just is, we got to get a handle on it. And there's a way to get a handle on this. This all started with the prescription medications.
Right.
All of this problem came from that.
And I want to talk more about that after the break, and what we can all do to help and to make a difference. And I want you to help us solve this problem. And we'll talk more about that after the break. So stick around, you guys. We'll be right back.
No one is perfect. We all have our inner struggles. It may be alcohol, drug, or any type of addiction. Soba Recovery Center is here to offer free help. You can get the help and free information by calling right now from the privacy of your own home. Don't let alcohol, drug, or any addiction ruin your life. If you or a loved one have alcohol, drug, or any addiction, get help by calling right now. Soba Recovery Center. Most private insurance accepted.
And we are back with Soba Recovery, and we're continuing our conversation about the heroin epidemic here in our country. And we just showed some photos, and this is something that happened last week, but it was two parents who had overdosed on heroin. They had their young children in the car, and this is the site that police found.
I mean, it's a really shaming picture to show two drug addicts who are suffering with a disease. And it's really a national health crisis. You know, it's like, it's just a disease, plain and simple.
And it's like you said, they're not bad people. It's a disease, and they need help. And that's where, Greg, that's what you're trying to do every day. And I know that,
Yeah, they're really sick.
Yeah.
They're sick people, and I mean, those people don't want to do that. They don't want to be sitting in a car with their baby in the back seat while they're overdosed. I mean, I meet these young people that have ended up being heroin addicts, and I ask them, you know, when you were 14 years old, did you plan on this?
Right.
You know, nobody plans on this happening. And it's kind of like, I mean, I've never met somebody whose goal as a kid was, I want to grow up and be a heroin addict. Those people who were in that car at one time, they were having that baby, and they were holding it, and they were taking care of it, and you know, good parents. This takes that away from them, you know, and that's why it's very easy. So you could see something like that. You could get them off the heroin real quick, or get them off of the drugs real quick, but then they got to deal with the fact that they were those people.
Right.
And when it takes your spirit away as a human being, I mean, by the time I went to treatment, I didn't feel like I had value as a human being anymore. And so that's why the long-term treatment is necessary, because it takes a while to rebuild that and to fix the things and the damage that you caused and mend the relationships that are there. And so we have many aspects of things. It's not just about getting off drugs. It's about rebuilding your life and becoming, you know, a valuable part of society again.
Sure.
Being a good parent, being a good brother, sister, boss, whatever it is.
That takes longer than 28 days.
Nobody
A lot
wants
longer.
to
Yeah.
have that happen. You know, I'd feel bad for everybody. There's a grandmother that had to see that. You know, there's brothers and sisters that had to see that picture. And that's what it looks like, and we need to do something about it.
On that same note, though, people need to see that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's people, they hear about it, but when you see it and you see a vivid picture like that and you see reality, it becomes real for people, and they do realize that, okay, we all need to band together to fix this, and that's what you're trying to do. So what can people do?
Although the lady in the grocery store, who's filming that?
And not helping,
Go
you
help
mean?
her.
I know, that's exactly
There's
what
a lady
I thought.
on the floor of the grocery store, and I'm sitting there with my iPhone filming the kid screaming.
With the
It's
child
like,
crying.
come on now.
I
Yeah.
agree. But what can we do, Greg? What can we all do to help?
Well, the first thing is we need to we need to talk to the insurance people and to our representatives and let people get help for this. It hadn't changed. It's gotten, every month that I have seen you, it's gotten worse. You know, the insurance is getting less time, they're paying less money, they're making it harder for people to admit. I mean, you would think that lady on the floor, she wouldn't qualify for treatment. You know, it's like we need to complain about it and make opiate treatment mandatory for insurance companies to help people out, because, you know, these people don't have $40,000 to go to treatment.
Most people don't.
Yeah, and there's so many waiting lines in the public ones that if you've blown your life and you have no money and you have to go to the funded or county treatment or something like that, you might have to wait a month and a half to go in. Do those people look like they have a month and a half to wait to get treatment?
No, they don't.
So we need to make treatment available and get a handle on this contagious epidemic.
All right. We have so many viewer questions, and we're going to try to get to some of those. So stick around. We will have you guys answer those after the break. And we are back with Greg Hanley, Alex Rahici, and Jane Sullivan with Soba Recovery. And Jane, this is the first time we're meeting. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You have such a great story. You're a Soba alumni, and now you work at Soba Texas here in San Antonio. And when people call to find out more about Soba or to say, can I start the program, you're the one that answers the phone.
Yeah, it's really, it's a great job. I love being on the end of the phone where I get to help people, and I don't have to be the one calling in anymore.
And I would imagine that, yeah, right. But you know, that's wonderful though, because when they're calling, you get it. You know what they're feeling, and you also said that being on this end showed you what your family was dealing with when your parents called.
Absolutely. So I get to talk to families and relate to them on, I understand what their child's going through or their loved one, and I understand what they're going through with what my parents have told me. And it gives me great compassion for my parents too.
It shows you how much they love you.
Absolutely.
How much they love you. What made you decide to
I love
come?
her parents.
I bet they're great.
Yeah,
Well, she's
I know.
great,
Yeah.
so
I know them a
I'm
lot.
sure they're wonderful. What made you decide to come back and do this?
You know, there's no other job for me. I've waited tables, I've done secretary positions, and it's not what I'm here for. I need to help people. I have a story to tell, and it's something that could save somebody's life.
Yeah. And what do you feel, because I asked Ashley earlier, what do you think it is about Soba Recovery and Soba Texas? What makes it so special and so unique?
The long term is huge. Being able to stay there for as long as they allow is fantastic, and it is a family.
Yeah.
I still talk to, I mean, almost everybody that I was there with 4 years ago.
She knew stuff that was going on in Malibu before I did yesterday.
Yeah.
She's good.
But you were there a while, right? For a year
I was
over?
with Soba for a year and a half.
Okay.
I
So a year
almost
and a
sent
half.
over the before and after pictures, but she for sure would have been. You wouldn't recognize her from 4 years
Really?
ago.
Wow. Well, she
Yeah.
looks beautiful now. Just
Thank you.
absolutely wonderful. So I'm so happy that you're there and that you're the one picking up the phone when people are calling and they're so scared. I also want to mention Recovery Today, which is your publication. It's a wonderful resource for people out there. Tell us a little bit about it and how people can get it and why you did it and you know what your hopes are.
Well, it's a online magazine, and there's different types of articles that touch on different things related to recovery every month. So it's not just about, and it's written, and there's articles by people that are written from different points of view.
Right.
So there can be some professionals, there's usually somebody who's notable on the cover that you wouldn't know about.
You have a gold
parent
medalist,
article- Yeah.
Kurt
Yeah,
Angle
gold
on the
medalist.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and it's just another resource for people to get information.
And how can they get it?
Recovery Today. Yeah, Recovery Today.
Got it.
Or todaymagazine.com. Or any one of the Soba Texas, Soba Malibu.
there's a link there. You'll
There's
find
a link
it.
everywhere.
You
Yeah,
can
it's pretty
get to
easy
it.
to find. So.
All right. I want to get to a couple of questions if we could, and these are from viewers. Someone said, how much does rehab cost? How do I know if my insurance will cover it? And I know we talk about this a lot. This is the big question.
Well, the cost can depend a lot on where you go. And it's not something that you want to take the cheap route on, because services, the quality of services costs money. So you want to have a place that has qualified clinicians. You want to have a place that has a lot of trauma certification from their clinicians, and you could tell them kind of how the process for the insurance goes
Yeah,
when they
so
call you.
anytime we get a phone call, you know, we ask about health insurance, and we're able to contact the insurance companies and find out what they're willing to cover.
Okay.
And-
But y'all do that for people.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
So they don't
within-
have to worry about making those calls.
Yeah, no, we get all the information. We want to make it as easy as possible on people. So you'll have a resource to know even whether you need to go to treatment, or if something's going on, or just somebody to talk to all the way through the process of, you know, Jane will get the phone, Alex will give them the tour,
Right.
and then Ashley's the boss. She'll make sure they get all
They
the
get
treatment.
what we said they're going to
Got
get.
it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Everyone has a role, that's for
And,
sure.
and
Yeah.
you'll know up front exactly what to expect. There's not going to be any hidden costs. There's not going to be any
surprises or-
surprises. Yeah, they'll find out exactly what the deductibles and copays. The surprises are from our end when we're providing the highest level at these out-of-network. You have the greatest insurance, and we accept it, but the insurance companies pay us Medicare rate. So
We're actually having parents call to the insurance, you know, when they're given too short a time or doing stuff.
Yeah.
We're having parents call and advocate with the insurance companies, and they're getting a little bit of attention now.
Okay.
And also we reported a company to the Texas Department of Insurance, and it was funny how they changed their tune
All of a sudden,
yesterday.
they
Yeah.
could help.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
could do more.
Props out to Shannon and the crew that went to Connecticut
Good
yesterday.
job. All right. Yes, for sure. Don't go anywhere. We still have more with Soba after the break. If you are in a position right now where you or someone you love is battling an addiction, they can help, and we're going to tell you exactly how you can get that help after the break. And we are back with Soba Recovery, and I know we just have a little bit of time left, you guys, but if there's someone watching right now, they need help, they have a loved one who needs help, what can they do today?
pick up the phone and call or reach out, send us an email.
Call
Yeah.
Jane.
Call
Yeah, Jane will answer.
Jane
She's
will
the one who
answer.
answers.
Yeah, she has relieved me from the 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. phone calls.
So this is the voice people will hear. And Jane, I know that, and you understand, when people call, they're so scared. I mean, for a lot of people, they've never dealt with anything like this in their life, and you're there to walk them through it, right?
Yeah, and I'll sit on the phone with people for hours, just
And
listening
hours
to
and
their
hours,
story and letting them know what our program's all about and what they can expect. And sometimes it really is 5-6 hours of just conversation, letting them know that there's help.
Well, people have an idea in their head of what it looks like sometimes that can be completely different, and it can be scary. And sometimes you need to talk to a parent, or you talk to a person, and you need to talk to the person
mom,
who's
the dad,
using
the
and
grandmother.
explain it to them, and
Yeah.
go through. There's a process that takes a little time, from the phone call to somebody actually arriving to safety.
But the first thing to do is to make that phone call, and that is what you need to do. Guys, Soba Texas, they are open, they are here, and this is the answer that your family has been waiting for. You can give them a call, 866-948-9014. You can also go to sobatexas.com to find more information. Thank y'all so much for being here. Love when you're here. Jane, thank you so much. It was lovely to meet you. And Ashley, she was here earlier. She did such a beautiful job too. So glad y'all are here in San Antonio.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here.
No one is perfect. We all have our inner struggles. It may be alcohol, drug, or any type of addiction. Soba Recovery Center is here to offer free help. You can get the help and free information by calling right now from the privacy of your own home. Don't let alcohol, drug, or any addiction ruin your life. If you or a loved one have alcohol, drug, or any addiction, get help by calling right now. Soba Recovery Center. Most private insurance accepted.